This is YSM Sports Media. Want to thank you for all your love and support. Really appreciate it. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and click the notification button for all future content.
What's the biggest difference between fighting shape and looking the part?
So you got guys that look the part. So if you go to a gym and you see a lot of guys and they pumping and they flexing in the mirror and all that. These guys are benching like 250, 300, 400 pounds. Ask them to do 50 push-ups. They're gonna be struggling. Then you get these same guys that run, and they're marathon runners. But throw them into a sprint, it's a little different. Then you got guys who are just in shape that are just solid. You know what I mean? But when it comes to a specific sport, they can't hang. You know what I mean? You got guys that come in here and they say, oh yeah, I run 5 miles, I run 10 miles. But they can't do 4 minutes in the ring. You know what I mean? So it's a major difference between being in fighting shape and just the average shape. Average shape is average. Like, you know, you can do, you know what? Being in shape is above average to where average people work out 2 to 3 times a week. Above average, you work out 5 days a week. Then you got like the elite level where this is what you do for a living. You know, like The Rock, right? The Rock trains twice a day, sometimes 3 times, and it's hours, but he's dedicated to it. I mean, not many people have the luxury to do that because he's already financially set, so it's different. But then you got people that can't do that, but then they still in decent shape. I've seen guys that don't even look the part, and they'll go in there and box your head off for 24 rounds. Easy work. So it depends.
Do you feel like strength and conditioning is undervalued in boxing?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it doesn't deserve the credit that it should. And reason why that is because a lot of things that most fighters do works for them, so they don't feel the need to add an additional kind of regimen or plan to get them in better shape. But if you really think about it, strength and conditioning is mainly more behind the scenes type of thing, and especially for fighters. You got guys like Floyd, who fought a guy like Zab Judah. Now, skill level comparison, Zab is definitely skilled, right? But Floyd said it a long time ago. He said, you know, you could be skilled, you could be better in skills than me, you could be faster, you could hit harder, but no one's gonna outwork me. So most people have to have that mindset and go in there, not just rely on skills, because condition can beat skills if you're not in shape. You gotta be in shape, and people do downplay strength and conditioning. Absolutely, they do.
Is that where fights are won and lost? Whoever's in the best condition?
No, not necessarily. Not all the time, because you can be in decent shape and have better skills than the other person and pull it off because you got a strong IQ. You know what I mean? Like you might be just brilliant in the ring and know how to win. So you know, and it's not always based on skills, not always based on conditioning. It's a universal thing. It's everything put together. But if you really want to reach that high status, you got to pay to play.
Strength and conditioning being undervalued in boxing is a little weird to me, because if you look at every NFL team, every collegiate team, every sport, they have a strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
And you look at an athlete like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan didn't get over the hump and win a championship until he brought in Tim Grover to specifically prepare for the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
And he built up all that muscle to deal with the pounding. So without strength, without Tim Grover, and no disrespect to Michael Jordan, but without him taking that extra step, there might not be the legend of Michael Jordan as we know it.
Yeah, I can see that. I like, you know, people just downplay that specific thing for crazy reasons. It's too expensive, or I don't got time for it. Man, look, there's so many skillful fighters that come in and out of here. And sometimes I work with them for a day or even an hour. And I'm like, damn, this ball really not in shape. You know what I mean? But they got skills out of the world. You know what I mean? And you can only imagine how much better you would be if you took your health and fitness to a different level. The one thing that's going to happen is you're always going to run into that one fighter that you never expect to give you the fight of your life. You know what I mean? It could be a guy from Argentina. You know what I mean? He goes door to door selling dictionaries or something. You know what I mean? And he's 10-10. But he just got an eviction notice. And his whole family about to be put out. And now you take a fight with him thinking you're going to walk right through him. And this dude trains hard and beats the shit out you. Because he was in better shape. Because you overlooked him.
You know what's crazy? I've seen that.
I've seen that too. I've seen that too with Carlos Valdemir and Zab Judah. You know what I mean? Like I've seen that, and that happens. But you gotta invest, man. You gotta invest because at the end of the day, it's only gonna make you better. People are afraid of hard work, but they love the success, and that's what they want, but don't want to work hard for it. It's your fault. It is what it is.
As far as making weight, what are the mistakes that some guys make as far as like blowing up in post fights?
Yeah.
And maybe coming down too fast? Like, is there such thing as coming down too fast before the fight?
It is, yeah. Because when you rush it down, you drain faster. And then you're feeling all sluggish, and then you'll have more bad days than good. A lot of mistakes the guys do is they have a lot of cheat days or they start dieting too late. Others where they fight on Saturday and because they're enjoying, they just got out of a camp, they let themselves go to like 180 and they fight at 140. You shouldn't get that high because cutting 40 pounds, 30 pounds on a frequent basis throughout a year can take a major toll on your body. Especially the older you get, the harder it is for it to come off. So a lot of mistakes are on the fighter, really. You know what I mean? But it's one of those type of sports where fighters are sensitive. Camps, you know, they're so set in their ways that they don't. If it's currently working for them, they stick with it until later down the line when they don't have an answer for something, and then it starts to crumble. So the best thing for you to do is be open-minded with just experiencing different things, because then that's how you learn anyway.
How to properly rehydrate?
Different people do different things. They right after a weigh-in, they'll go eat pasta, and then they feel the energy, right? And then they feel good. Other people, they stay light, and they just consume a lot of fruits. Other guys use coconut water. People use Gatorade. People use Powerade. People use Body Armor. You know, there's so many variations of rehydrating. I guess it's one of those things where you have to know your body to know what to stay away from by being disciplined, not just because you're weak, but because you know, all right, I can do this because I feel good when I eat this. You know, it's like when you're at Thanksgiving and you got a plate and you eat, and then you still got food on your plate, but you know you're full, but you just continue to keep going because you just want to finish your plate, and the next thing you know, all day you're like this. Now you're all tired for no reason. But sometimes you can eat something and be so energetic, you feel like you can just throw on some shoes and run a marathon. So it depends.
Moving up in weight, I see a lot of fans that want guys to, you know, if there's a big fight that the fans want to say, oh yeah, move up from 160 to 168, like Charlo and Canelo, or Charlo and David Benavidez.
Okay.
They want Charlo to just move up 8 pounds. Is there a significant difference between?
Yo, believe it or not, there is, man. It's a big difference because you can't have a guy from 147 move up to 160. So what happened to Amir Khan? You know what I mean? And his speed was there, but his power wasn't with him. You know what I mean? Not to say that Amir Khan has power anyway. I don't know, but sometimes you can carry your power, sometimes you can't. And it's a major difference. These guys, now, mind you, you're coming from 147, you're moving up. Say you walk around 160. You walk around 160, fighting at 47. These guys are walking around 190, 200, coming down to 168. That's a big difference in body size. You know what I mean? So the power is different. Everything is just different. So it is a major difference.
How would you suggest moving up in weight?
Gradually. Don't rush anything. Don't go from like 140 and say, all right, I'm gonna take a fight with Canelo at 160 and then try to gain that 20 pounds. Don't do that. Because unless if you're looking for a payday and you know the outcome is you're probably gonna spend some of your purse money on hospital bills, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? But in reality, you know, you want to gradually move up so that way you know what it feels like. Your sparring has to change. You got to spar heavier guys, and then so on and so forth. You can't just jump into something and say, oh, I'm going to move up 20 pounds more and then think that your skills is going to really get through the whole X amount of rounds. It's not. Because you got guys that can pop, but they can only pop at 140. They don't got the same pop at 154. You know what I mean? So it's different.
Okay. As far as the sport of boxing, is there anything that you would change? What would you like to see that's done differently? Same day weigh-ins?
No, I would actually like for it to be one belt, one champion. And call it a day. I would like to see that. And not it be so much on the politics side, which that's something we can't avoid. It is what it is. But if it will be one champion, then that'll be better for the sport. Not a franchise, not a silver, not an interim, not a regular, and a super. And
Grilled cheese champion.
And it's like, come on, for real, all that to avoid mandatories. Nah, that ain't cool. You know, you got into the sport to fight. Go fight.
Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it.
Yeah.